very well played game.
But of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned, we are going to be hopping into our first match of the day. Is going to be that rematch between Semper and Scarlett. Now, I think we had some mention of this, but there were some pretty epic games between those two yesterday during the winners bracket matches. And of course, now they're meeting in the losers bracket. Scarlett getting knocked down by the one and only Masa. Not too surprising to get knocked down by the god himself, the man who comes in from Toronto, strolls by, just takes the money from all of the Toronto tournaments.
Yeah, Masa's been on fire this tournament. I believe he's only dropped one map in the tournament so far to Huck, who's already been knocked out.
And it's funny, because you say he's on fire, but he's the one beating on fire players. First, Scarlett, I believe that he also ended up beating Neeb in the seeding matches on day one.
Yes,
and he's going to be facing off versus Neeb again in the winners bracket finals.
That's going to be a real treat. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a best of 5. So stick around. That'll be coming after this match at some point. Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to that. But first, I'm looking forward to this match.
I am very much looking forward to this match, and I also want to remind everyone, as we get ready to hop into that first game of the day, I want to remind you guys that the wonderful sponsor, Corsair, helps make Kings of the North possible. If you guys want to go check them out, show them some love on Twitter, let them know that we sent you guys. And, yeah, we'll be hopping into it. Scarlett versus Semper. Now, I did talk with Semper a little bit. Said he slept pretty well. Said he was feeling okay. A little bit groggy, but, hopefully he'll be able to get over those jitters. I think that's going to be an important thing, especially for a player who tends to ramp up as the game goes on.
Yes, definitely. It feels like the more comfortable he is, the better he is going to be playing. And we do see the map is going to be Orbital Shipyard, which... Talking to Scarlett a little bit yesterday, she wasn't saying she was too comfortable in ZBT on this match.
She was, in fact, trying to advise Masa on how to beat her on this map. But we're going to be jumping in and introducing the players as we spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map on top of the green Terran player from Team Gravity. Give it up for Semper.
And meanwhile, spawning up in the top right of Orbital Shipyard, it is the pink Zerg player from On Fire, Scarlett. Let's see if we can bring up their stats in that head-to-head.
And Scarlett definitely does have a bit of an advantage in this. Not a huge sample size, only 6 games total, and I think some of those games happened just yesterday, as well as actually even day 1.
Yes.
But still, Scarlett did end up winning that last series that they played, and that goes to say something.
Yeah, it was actually a very close series. We saw a really epic game from Semper, really from both players, but on Central Protocol, in which Semper was able to just kind of choke Scarlett off. Some really nice positional play, really exceptional drops. But we do see Scarlett going for that hatch gas pool, and it looks like Semper's going to be going reactor first. So maybe we might be seeing another 6 Reaper build from Semper. I would really enjoy seeing that, especially considering the rally of the barracks.
That would be very interesting, and I would feel like we have seen out of Semper mostly a lot of those openings that involve that very fast tech up to the factory, to go up to the starport, and go into the drop harassment immediately right off the bat, get into that comfort zone. So it would be really cool to see him kind of mix in maybe some of that, as you were saying, like that heavy Reaper aggression.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be those 2 Reapers. Meanwhile, Scarlett looks like she's only electing for 2 Zerglings right away. That's actually okay if she builds a couple more Zerglings after this. Since you had to go for that early reactor, you're not getting such a quick first Reaper. You're actually holding off on your production so that you can get a quick 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th Reaper.
Right.
And actually behind this we see a 3rd command center from Semper. Very heavy macro play, while Scarlett also going for that quick
third hatch.
Yeah.
And of course, we do end up having those Reapers making their way across the map. At least the first one is going to get over there, and Scarlett very soon going to be finding out that there's going to be 2 Reapers, not just 1. and she may need to make a couple more Zerglings. The hatchery not going to be taking substantial amounts of damage, but that's sort of interesting. Semper is not going to the main base like, you know, a Terran player would normally do in this situation. He's going after the hatchery, and if you consider the fact that he's going to have more Reapers following this up, this hatchery will slowly actually be taking damage, especially with the grenade going off on it.
Yes, exactly. Those actually do quite a bit of damage. We do see Scarlett walking quite a few queens down. Nice grenade from Semper. Going to separate off one of the queens. Oh, with those third and fourth Reapers coming forward. Might be able to get a lot of damage done here. But we do see the Zergling speed finishing up.
Yeah, Zergling speed going to be so helpful in dealing with these Reapers, at least forcing them back, making it much more difficult. But you can see just these couple of Reapers wailing away at this hatchery for so long. It's already down to almost a quarter health, and it's going to be finishing up at a quarter health right now, Steadfast. The Queens are going to be able to force these Reapers back a little bit with the grenades, and with this number, they can actually start to pick these guys off.
Wow, actually getting one of those Queens, another Queen below half health. This is starting to look pretty dire for Scarlett, and that's not even all of his Reapers. Semper going up to now 6 Reapers, switching into that Marine Protect. Oh, canceling both Creep Tumors. This is huge.
Wow, and not only that, but this is not even an all-in from Semper. There's a barracks coming down behind this. He, as you mentioned before, has a third command center. He's just getting damage done.
Getting so much damage done. In fact, I don't think Scarlett was expecting the Reapers to be this effective, and Semper is getting himself a really nice lead.
Are we going to see Reapers kill a hatchery? Not even like 20 Reapers or something. We're going to see 6 to 8-ish Reapers kill a hatchery potentially.
That is just such good control from Semper. We do see Scarlett maybe being able to stabilize, and it looks like she's going into a +1 Carapace and Layer just starting up. Getting a little bit supply blocked. Actually, wow, badly supply blocked. Reapers are just, they require so much attention to oh, I love this from Semper. Casting those, throwing those grenades, just hopping up for a bit of vision and those grenades, but...
Yeah, but in the situation of Scarlett, not only was she getting a little bit of supply block, but her drone count is not where she would like it to be, because she had to make so many Zerglings to deal with these Reapers. She was losing Queens, she was missing injects, so many problems arose from that Reaper harassment that I really do feel like Scarlett is behind, even economically. And at that point, does Scarlett, do you think she says, I need to just huddle down, I need to just work on defense with the units I have and just try and bring it out to a long macro game? Or do you just go crazy and say, no, I need to make something happen now. I'm not going to play this out any further. I'm going to go for the big aggression.
That's such a tough decision to make because you don't know how much Semper's committed. And if we look back at home, he does have 1-1 on the way. So Scarlett, a very smart player, she might think to herself, yeah, I need to get something done, but can I? Is it worth the risk? I don't want to go down 1-0 to Semper, especially on a map like Orbital Shipyard, where maybe if I can push it to the late game, I'm going to feel really comfortable.
Yeah, it looks like, at least for now, she's going to be sticking around on 59 drones, making that Spire as that lair tech is finished up, and of course, getting up that Baneling nest. Maybe she can actually then establish a 4th expansion. The one nice thing about this situation for Scarlett is the way that we've seen Semper do the most aggression is through the form of medevac drop harassment, but those medevacs are so much later, I would say, in this game, just because we had the early Reapers coming out, we had the 3rd command center, we didn't see that factory for a good bit of time.
Yes, they are a lot later, but we do see his barracks production is already ramped up pretty high, 9 Marines at a time, and those first medevacs now popping out. I want to highlight something, though, that Semper did. Oh, wow, that's actually a big, scary push. As he jumped up to the high ground, and it looked like Scarlett, she did have a lot of Lings in position to maybe run down those Reapers. We saw a nice zoning grenade by Semper on the bottom of the ramp, and if we look at the units lost, I don't think he's lost. He's lost 1 Reaper now.
Wow.
1 Reaper. And he has done so much. Meanwhile, he's trying to deny the 4th base. Scarlett doesn't have a 4th base yet.
Yeah, she is going to be trying to take the 4th expansion in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, kind of sneaking it, but a Marine does spot that out, while, of course, he pushes along the left-hand side of the map. Now Scarlett knows that Semper is aware of it, and she's got to be careful about where she positions her units.
Yes, we do actually see 7 Mutalisks about to pop out. Ooh, I don't know if I like that from Semper, leaving those Reapers. It seems like those are maybe going to be sacrificial. Oh, actually trying to just deny creep. That's kind of nice. But if we look at the upgrades, Semper's already got 2-2 on the way, and combat shield's nearly done, whereas Scarlett is just finishing up her +1 melee, and did add on that 2nd evolution chamber, so she's going to be able to go into 2-2 pretty quickly. But no, actually looks like adding on 10 more Banelings might be gearing up for some aggression.
Oh, I think that she really feels like she has to do something to defend this fourth, and the one good way to defend it is to just be aggressive yourself. Taking out this drop harassment over here with the Banelings as well as the Mutals should be one really easy way to try and clean things up, but here we end up seeing Semper pushes on the other side of the map. It's the classic 1-2 punch.
Yeah, but that hatchery was actually so low from earlier, but Scarlett does manage to save it. That's a huge deal.
That was close. That was that actually could have been a massive win for Semper, but the fact that Scarlett keeps it alive does mean that she's going to be able to push across the map after having also pushed back these medevacs. The medevacs no longer have their boost. They're actually going to get target fire down very soon.
Yeah, and we do see Semper actually... Oh, I love this, going to the middle of the map. The Mutalisks cannot take down those Marines on their own.
There's not as many Marines as you would think, though. Some of those units in those medevacs are actually Reapers, not Marines.
Oh, we do see another push coming into the 4th base. Semper going to be able to probably get this down. Really nice multitasking. Meanwhile, he's getting Drilling Claws, so he's going to be going for that Marine Mine style. I like this against the heavy Mutaling Bane play from Scarlett.
Wow, and there's yet another drop coming out of the natural expansion. Snipes off that hatchery.
God, you are everywhere at once.
Yeah, Semper is not even halting the aggression. He's even moving to the main base. It will get cleaned up. And finally, we are going to be seeing Semper calm down the aggression as he maybe was thinking about sniping off another 5th expansion. He was like, wait a second, you actually haven't established that yet again. There is, in fact, not enough bases for me to kill right now. Scarlett, build some more bases so I can kill them for you.
Yeah, Semper getting a little bit frustrated by Scarlett. Like, get on my level. Get on my level, bro. But we do actually see the creep spread from Scarlett. Always, it seems. It's just so immaculate. But wow, that's a scary army. 9 Drilling Claw Widow Mines. And Scarlett, she's still pretty far from 2-2.
Scarlett is actually sitting down in supply right now. Only has 5 Banelings out on the map. She's making 13 more, which is going to be very important. But these Widow Mines, if they get some good connections, that could spell doom and disaster for Scarlett. I don't think she even has the hatchery production to really start to remax. She doesn't have the economy to remax his army. She has to be so cost efficient with it.
Yeah, she did get that hive finished up, and Adrenal Glands is on the way, as well as the Ultralisk Cavern. So this attack does have a timer. Meanwhile, on the right side, we see that hatchery getting canceled once again. Semper, you are so good.
Semper is playing out of his mind right now this early in the morning. He's so ready. He got a good night's rest. He is just ready to move on to that losers finals.
Yeah, and we see the Mutalisks trying to deal with these Marines. Are going to be able to clean them up, but losing 2, maybe 3 Mutalisks. Meanwhile, big attack on the left side. Those Widow Mines, they're so bad.
Oh my god!
Huge connections!
Oh, all of the Zerglings suddenly dissipate. There are a couple Banelings left over, and Semper does move back, but his Marines stay alive. He once again has canceled that 4th expansion or 5th expansion on the right-hand side of the map, and he continues to push forward. Another rally of units comes in. The Ultralisk Cavern is finished up, but there's no Ultras on the way. I don't think Scarlett can even afford them.
Yeah, Scarlett's going to be losing her 4th base. This hurts so much. Meanwhile, Semper has 3-3 on the way. A Thor popping out, going to push those Mutas away.
1 Ultralisk on the way right now, Steadfast. 1 Ultralisk that isn't even going to have chitinous plating in time for this next push into the 3rd.
You know what? I am on the hype train for Semper right now. I am so excited to see this. Can he push in and finish the game before these Ultralisks pop out?
He's coming on in. There's still a lot of creep. If Scarlett's going to take a good engagement, this is where it's going to be. And of course, Semper does not exactly have a 4th expansion behind this, so he is starting to mine out on his own right. He does want to get some damage on, even though he is drastically further ahead right now of Scarlett. Scarlett still has maybe some hopes that she can bring this back.
Yeah, but Semper's putting a timer on that hatchery. The Ultralisk is going to move forward, but if those Liberators get into their defender mode, it's going to be really tough for Scarlett to engage, and she's just going to sack the hatch. This puts her down to effectively no mining, just barely a bit of mining in that natural expansion.
6 seconds until chitinous plating finishes up. Scarlett is looking to go for it, but look at this. Semper is already backed off of creep right now, and he's going to be able to easily evade a lot of these Banelings. The Banelings are getting target fired down. Scarlett's Ultralisk, her 2 Ultralisk, are going to go down relatively rapidly as well, although the transfuses are helping out quite a bit. And actually, wow, Scarlett will be able to push this army back, or at least force a liftoff.
Yeah, but lifting that army off, he does get most of it to the high ground, and it's going to be safe from the Mutas right there. Looking at the army supply, yeah, she has chitinous-plated Ultralisks, but she's down nearly 50 army supply. No mining to speak of, just long-distance mining from that right side base. But look at this. Semper says, oh, that's cool. That's cute. You think I was only doing one thing at once? No, I'm getting ready to attack this base again.
3-3 finishes up for Semper. Scarlett still sitting on 2-2 for a little bit longer. She needs about 25 more seconds, but I don't know if Semper's going to give her that time. This creep spread also, that was so ridiculous early on, it's actually caught up to this expansion. The Ultras trying to come on in. The last saving grace of Scarlett, but there's only 3 Ultras and a handful of Mutalisks. There's not even Zerglings or Banelings with this army anymore.
Yeah, and the Liberators are just running these Mutas down right now. Corruptors are popping out. The Liberators can probably take that fight, but they don't want to take it cost inefficiently. Meanwhile, on the left side, another Marine run by, going to be able to potentially deny this base.
Oh man, this is going to be so frustrating. Pulling Scarlet Zerglings out of position once again. Maybe going to try and push into that 4th expansion, or I don't even know what to call it anymore. This is more like the 9th expansion, because that's the 9th attempt that she's had of trying to take this particular base, but the Liberators get sieged up in a really nice position. This is going to make it so much easier for Semper to take out this base.
Yeah, he is definitely going to take that down now. Scarlett knows it. She's forfeiting the base. Meanwhile, Marauder production and 3 Liberators at a time coming out for Semper. Oh, those Corruptors get melted in the sky.
Oh, Semper has to be a little bit careful. I know that he is actually sitting in a very comfortable position right now, sitting up 100 supply, but those Marines are stimmed to death, and there's not a lot of medevac energy to actually heal them up. 1 or 2 cleaves on those orange Marines will actually just start to kill them instantly, and that might be a little bit dangerous if he can't actually reproduce the army fast enough, if Scarlett just spirals out of control.
Yeah, but those liberation zones are looking so scary, and even the Widow Mines keep... Oh, I like that play from Scarlett. But the unburrow counter micro. This is just so high level from both players.
Semper is so on top of his game today, and this is going to be the final stand for Scarlett. She moves in, tries to use some fungal growth to catch some of these Marines, but she really wants to get the money fungals. She wants to lock down all of those Marines, not just a handful of ones that are poaching forward. Here come the Corruptors trying to snap off a couple of these Liberators, but honestly, Steadfast, how does Scarlett recover from this? There's a 4th expansion behind all this. Scarlett's not even mining from her 3rd. She's got all of her drones on gas.
4th and even a 5th base starting to come out from Semper, about to land. To answer your question, the way she deals with it is GG and tries to take the rest of the series.
Semper taking a very dominating game number 1 against someone as strong as Scarlett really just goes to show you that he really is the dark horse, the dark hawk of this tournament.
He is looking so good right now. Oh man. You know, I don't want to use the cliche, but I got some nerd chills right now. That was actually so sick.
You know, a lot of us, I think, came into today, we were saying, okay, feeling a little bit groggy, we're getting ready, have your morning coffee. Semper's like, no, I'm ready, let's go.
Yeah, and he just absolutely puts his foot on the gas from minute 2, gets those Reapers, starts doing damage to the hatchery, baits Scarlett down the ramp, casting those grenades on the ramp, pushing the Queen's foot, just did so much for the whole game. It was like we were watching Masa play.
I kind of feel like we were making those comparisons, Semper feeling like Super Saiyan Goku or something, taking his time and slowly ramping his power level. Today, he was Indiana Jones. Scarlett doing that crazy creep spray and everything. It was like, oh yeah, I got my name recognition and everything, doing the ninja flips, and then he just pulls out a gun and shoots her.
Yeah, it was pretty, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, got the samurai, or the giant scimitar, just waving it around.
Yeah.
Creep spread all over the map.
Indiana Jones cares not for your shenanigans.
What's up? That was some beautiful play from Semper, though. I am so excited to see this guy in the future.
Yeah, and what I also really liked about that particular game is the fact that he did a mix-up that I don't think he's done very often, at least at this tournament, where he went for the big Reaper opening that, first of all, let's be honest, paid enormous dividends. A lot of that stuff that he was able to do in the later stage of the game was because of how much damage and how much defense he committed Scarlett to doing in the early game, not really allowing her to get up to that massive drone counter, that comfort zone.
Yeah, and I've played against this before on the ladder, and it is so good in the hands of a competent player like Semper. You might be thinking to yourself, like, why Scarlett took so much damage? No, she actually took not as much damage as you could. She kept that hatchery alive.
Yeah.
She was controlling pretty well, but Semper showed us a masterclass of how to do that. Only losing 1 Reaper, I think almost as an afterthought. He kept those 6 Reapers alive for so long, and just kept forcing Zerg. It was just amazing play.
I mean, it's been a very long time since I've seen Reapers survive so long that they end up actually getting lifted up into the medevac harassment because you know what? Why not? We got a little bit of space left over. One of the Marines died, you can take their place, and they get dropped at that center island like, oh, you know, I didn't actually need help getting up to this island. I can walk up cliffs, but here, I'm actually surviving so late into the game that I can actually use a little bit of extra healing along with my combat drugs.
Yeah, even he was throwing a couple of those grenades when he went to the left side base.
You know, it's one thing that I will say I am always excited about is seeing Reapers that survive into the later stage of the game, because I have this personal belief. It's a mild thing for me, but I'm like, you know what? If Reapers survive long enough to actually make it to the mid to late game, they can really mess up with your opponents, like positioning on the army. Suddenly, like your units are just going out of the fight for 3-4 seconds. It's like it's like a mini force field that doesn't last as long, but it also just does a little bit of damage.
Yeah, exactly. I would love it if, and I wouldn't actually because this would be terrible, but I would love it if Reaper grenades could target Ultralisks and just bounce them around the map.
You know, when Legacy of the Void came out, I actually could not stop laughing. Every single time I saw a Reaper grenade pushing a Queen around, I don't think that I would be able to stop laughing if I saw the Ultras. Like, I eventually overcame it, but it took me 3 to 4 months. I don't think it would ever be overcome with
Yeah,
Ultralisks.
they just flail their little Kaiser blades in the air.
But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hopping into it and introducing the players in game number 2 as we go.